We are back in the classroom with 10 more real estate test questions. If you're new here, the way it works is I take these 10 questions just like I would on the exam. I've never seen these questions. We take them together. I probably won't get them all right, but I think it's a good study tool for you and me because I am studying for the real estate exam just like you. Hopefully by the end of 2025, we'll both have our real estate license. Subscribe to the channel if you want more real estate test questions, more real estate test vocab, and more real estate test concepts. We have a ton of videos all down below. Let's get into the questions. All right, so this is the real estate sales national plus California, and we're doing contracts today. This is mostly national, but there are some California questions in here. If you don't see your state, it's still worth it to do these questions. If you want your specific state questions, comment down below what state you're in. We're gonna jump right into it. Question 1, a subdivision developer employs agent Sue to sell lots. John, a licensed agent, offers to buy lot B3 for $20,000 and a sales contract is executed. However, through a typographical error, which no one noticed, the contract identified the lot as D3, which was listed at $25,000. What is the contract status? A, void, B, enforceable, C, voidable, D, invalid. I want to say it's invalid right off the bat. Void and voidable, or void. Voidable seems like you have a choice. Enforceable seems like you have a choice. But since they did the typographical error, they're going to have to do a whole new contract. So let's check it. Oh, voidable. There you go. The correct answer was C, voidable. Question rationale. All agents and all parties to a transaction should read carefully all binding documents, and the document is prima facie evidence of the agreement. Having an agent does not relieve the client of responsibility. A mistake that is mutual, material, unintentional, and free from negligence may cause the contract to be voidable. In this case, by the developer, though they may decide to honor the deal. John, as a licensed broker, is held to a higher standard by the canon of ethics, and because of that, the court might not uphold his action for specific performance. All right, we're starting off contracts 0 for 1. Question 2. A large mirror that the buyer wants to remain with the property should A, be agreed upon verbally with its price stated in the contract, B, be disregarded as having no consequence, C, be identified as a fixture in the sales contract, D, never be included in the sales contract. I believe that would be identified as a fixture. Correct. Question rationale. A fixture is defined as a piece of personal property that stays with the real property. Even though the large mirror might be removable, if it is identified as a fixture and made part of the real estate contract, then it will remain after the sale. Question 3. A broker reads in the local newspaper that a seller is advertising a property for sale by owner with 3% to any broker. What type of listing is the seller offering? A, an exclusive right to sell, B, net listing, C, open listing, D, switch of agency agreement. I think this is an open listing. They're just doing to any broker, any open broker. We'll see. Correct. Question rationale. The seller is making an offer for any broker to find a buyer, but is not willing to sign exclusively with any one broker. So whoever finds the buyer first gets the 3%. Question 4. A lien that is filed for the sole purpose of preventing a transfer of property pending the outcome of litigation is called a lis pendens, B, mechanics lien, C, judgment lien, D, tax lien. I want to say it's lis pendens. Correct. Question rationale. A lis pendens is an involuntary lien, a recorded notice stating that a lawsuit is pending which may affect title to the defendant's property. A tax lien is placed on property to secure the payment of taxes. A mechanics lien is filed to assure payment for materials and labor expended on the property. A judgment lien is filed to attach properties to secure payment of a confirmed debt. So it went through all of these different liens, but the lis pendens is a pending lien against the property, basically. That's, I guess, how you can remember it. We're blasting through these. Question 5. If a broker receives 2 offers for the same house at the same time, one from the agent of a cooperating broker and another from their own agent, the broker should A, submit the cooperating broker's offer first, B, submit their agent's sales offer to the sellers first, C, submit both offers. D, reject both offers. I would guess you have to submit both offers. Correct. Question rationale. A broker or sales agent is required to submit all offers and may not give preference to their own offer over that of another firm. All right, now that we've done 5 questions, if you guys want your own test question bank, which I think is the best way to study for the exam, I have partnered up with the real estate site called Colibri. It is also the CompuCram site that we're currently using right now. They have given me a promotional discount for 40% off everything on the website. Use the code BURKE40, get your own test questions, and let's pass the real estate exam in 2025. Question 6. A seller signs a listing agreement that commences today and ends on December 31st of this year. The listing agent tries as hard as possible but simply cannot find a buyer who is interested in the property. After the first of the year, the listing is terminated by A, statute of fraud, B, expiration, C, unilateral agreement, D, seller recession. I want to say expiration because now we're on January 1st. It expired December 31st. Well, let's see. Correct. We're doing all right on contracts. Question rationale. By the contract terms, the listing expired on the 31st and was terminated on that date. In a unilateral agreement, only one party has the duty to perform and is more typical of an option agreement, not a listing. Recession pertains to a mutual agreement between the parties and is not the only seller's decision. It's not only the seller's decision. So we went over the seller recession unilateral. We did not go over statute of fraud, but that was not relevant to the question. Question 7. A buyer submits an offer to purchase a home, and the seller, wishing to keep the dining room chandelier, adds to the contract the words dining room chandelier not included before signing and returning to the buyer. Is the contract binding? A, no to be binding, the seller's counteroffer must now be accepted by the buyer without further change. B, no, the seller rejected the buyer's offer. C, yes, the seller only made an insignificant change. D, no, the seller rejected the buyer's offer, and to be binding, the seller's counteroffer must now be accepted and by the buyer without further change. So once you deny the contract of anything, then it's not, or once you propose a counteroffer, what I should say is that the original offer is completely done now. So we know it's no. So let's do this one. No, the seller rejected the buyer's offer, and to be binding, the seller's counteroffer must now be accepted. Yeah, let's do that one. Correct. Question rationale. To create a contract, the acceptance of an offer must not vary the terms of the offer or add new terms. A counteroffer is essentially a rejection, a change, and a new offer. So that's what we were saying. As soon as you counteroffer, it's a brand new offer and a brand new contract. The old contract is done. The old offer is done. Question 8. 3 of the following are quite similar. Which answer does not belong with the others? Rescission, offer, acceptance, title. I want to say title. Correct. Offer, acceptance, and rescission pertain to contract. Title does not. Next question. Question 9. A contract with no legal effect is called A, void, B, valid, C, unilateral, D, avoidable. I want to say a void contract is no legal. Correct. Question rationale. A contract that lacks one of the 4 elements has no legal effect and is void. For example, a contract to do something illegal is void. So don't do anything illegal because it doesn't matter if you have a contract or not. All right, the final question of the day, of the video. Let's lock in. John and Mary are getting divorced. All right, sorry about that. John tells Mary that unless she agrees to sell their home immediately and split the proceeds, he will institute legal proceedings to gain custody of their children. If she agrees, the sales contract may then be voidable because of, oh man, this is deep. A, consideration, B, duress, C, legality of object, D, offer and acceptance. I want to say it's duress, him threatening to institute legal proceedings to gain custody of the children. If she agrees to sale contract. Correct. Okay. Question rationale. Duress is a useful defense against enforcing a contract because there is no genuine meeting of the minds. A contract entered under duress is not enforceable against the forced party. Consideration, offer, acceptance, and legality of object are all essential elements of the contract required for validity. So these are the 4 terms for a valid contract. So on the last one, we know that void contracts don't have these 4 terms. So we did pretty good today, 9 out of 10, I think. Let's get back into the classroom. Thank you guys so much for watching. That was a quick 10 questions to help you pass the real estate exam. Come back next week. We have 10 more questions. We have weekly videos of test questions, vocab, concepts, everything that you need to know to pass the real estate exam. Please subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one.